Our constitution has not been understood. And do you know why it's not understood? It's because these same people who are in power opposed the constitution. They were saying no when we were saying yes. So they never took time to understand the philosophical foundations of the Kenyan constitution. Stop doing what William Ruto tells you to do. Do what the constitution and the law says you do. Anything outside that, you will pay for it individually. Otherwise, if we continue like this, we will have zero country to talk about. We will not have a country in 2027 to hand over to the next administration. The abnormality that has been there for the last 62 years is where the tail wags the dog. Where Raila and Ruto sit down and they say, this is the direction the country is going to go to. And we are asking them, 93% of Kenyans have said no. So where are you getting the mandate to establish a broad-based government? I have said it previously that Ruto's biggest enemy is Raila. And people never understood what I was talking about. And Raila's biggest enemy is William Ruto. If President Ruto does not know that difference and is a scientist, then there's a problem. That there has been what we call a demographic revolution.
Great to see you. Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadiel Kabiro. I'm so glad that you've joined us once again for our political conversations on this platform that we say we do hope will help our politicians and our leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. My guest today is Cyprian Orina Nyamwamu, the spokesperson of Kenya Bora. My conversation with him is about the future of this country. There's a lot going on. Everyone is chanting Ruto must go. The president, together with his team, says this is nothing new. But for my guest today, he says not at 2027, even before 2027, Ruto can actually leave office. Great to see you. How are you doing? How have you been?
I've been very well, Jadiel.
Yes?
Yes.
We're talking about this country.
Yes.
And you are saying something that is new to people's ears.
That's right.
And people are actually thinking what you're saying, is it practical? You're saying that a referendum will happen.
That's right.
And in this referendum, President William Ruto and his deputy Kindiki can be removed from office.
Will be removed.
Not can.
Will be removed.
How practical is that?
It is as practical as the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya begins at Article 1. And Article 1 provides two ways in which the people of Kenya can exercise power. First of all, it says that all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya. And we donate it. We delegate some of the power to the executive, we delegate some of the power to the legislature, and we delegate some of the power to the judiciary, tribunals and commissions, as it were. We say in Article 1, Sub-Article 2, it is clear that power can be exercised directly by the people, but it can also be exercised indirectly through elected representatives. Now, everybody in Kenya knows that elected representatives are no longer representatives of the people. Parliament, as currently constituted, is generally not representing the people, but representing the executive, representing the president. They have been captured and they are actually a tool. Instead of being a watchdog, they have become a lapdog of the president. So the president orders them to do whatever he wants, and they do. Last year, 93% of all Kenyans said reject the finance bill. Members of parliament went and passed the finance bill, even when 93% of Kenyans are saying reject, do not pass, withdraw it from parliament. And that is why the Gen Z and Kenyans came out and ran over parliament. Parliament lost its legitimacy to govern, and the leadership of President William Ruto and his deputy Kindiki Kithure have become an existential threat to the people of Kenya. So it has come to the point where we now have to exercise power directly as provided for in Article 1, Sub-Article 2. And direct exercise of sovereign power can be done in about 4 ways. The first way is to go to an election and vote for the executive. That is how we delegate power directly. We exercise it in an election, but we can also exercise it according to Article 37, which is the freedom of assembly, of association, to speak clearly that we've rejected, like what we did last year in June. And you saw that the government operationalized the security forces and they mauled down tens, probably hundreds of young people, citizens of the Republic of Kenya. So the constitution was defied last year by Article 37 being violated. The third way that citizens exercise direct power is by going to the referendum, placing a referendum vote and saying this government no longer serves the interests, the national interests of the people of Kenya. And therefore we are going to withdraw our legitimacy, our power, our delegated authority through the referendum. The referendum is a right of the people of Kenya. The fourth way, which is mainly exercised in Latin America, and we want to operationalize it here, is what we call the Sovereign People's Conventions. People can be able to convene and speak to matters of how the country should be governed. So the referendum that we have called is going to combine those two together.
What is the process of this referendum for a Kenyan or for Kenyans thinking, how do we practicalize it?
No, it's very simple. It is actually the easiest thing. It is provided for in Article 257 of the Constitution. You simply publish the intention, you formulate what we call a referendum question, and you collect 1 million signatures. You place them before IBC, and IBC takes it to the county assemblies. At least half of them, which is 24, have to approve that referendum, and then the people of Kenya will cast their ballot in the referendum, and they will withdraw the authority they donated to William Ruto to govern the country in the election. And so the principle is very, very simple. If you can hire, you will fire. If you can hire, you can fire. So President Ruto is telling the people that you hired me, but you can't fire me until 2027.
Yes.
It is not a blanket. Every job description and the TOR is not a blanket, it's not a right. You are only given the job so long as you can perform it. When you now start to destroy the organization that hired you, the board and the owners of the organization will sit down and withdraw the contract. They will rescind the contract, like we want to do it this July. So we will place the referendum question, and those who want to terminate the term of office of President William Ruto will say yes. And those who want to say that let William Ruto and Kindiki continue to govern until 2027, they will say no. So they will say no to the referendum question. Those of us who want to end this existential threat to the Republic of Kenya in 5 ways. The economy is in terrible shape. In fact, it is crawling. We have destroyed the economy. We have undermined all the essential social services, healthcare, education, from primary school all the way to the university. The third way that this government has become an existential threat is in the area of diplomacy and the national stature. around the region, but also globally. We will also be talking about how the constitution and governance, including devolution, has been undermined. Everybody in all the 47 county governments know that this government has become an existential threat. We have also jeopardized the sovereignty of our country by inviting people to establish military barracks and foreign bases in this country, including putting Kenya in odious debt. Out of our about 12 trillion debt, about 7 trillion of that money cannot be accounted for. And so it goes back to the days of Uhuru Kenyatta. This administration has borrowed over 2.4 trillion shillings.
Yes.
And we want somebody under a transitional government. Once we have done the referendum, we will establish a transitional government for the next 2 years to, first of all, conduct a forensic audit to tell us where is this 11, 12 trillion that we are talking about? Who gave us the money? What was the purpose of that money? Was the money actually used for that purpose? So a forensic audit is a very simple thing and it will be done. But we are saying it cannot be done under the administration of William Ruto, the one who borrowed the money as deputy president and now as president.
For Kenyans thinking, how do you form this transitional government? Because this is what Raila Odinga, William Ruto have been speaking about when
Correct.
it comes to this Ruto must go. They've been saying, what next? If Ruto leaves, what next? What is your answer to them who think
Yes.
what next means military is taking over?
No. That is the scare tactic, so that people think that we are reckless and we do not know what we are talking about. So how you form a transitional government is by putting it in the referendum. So the referendum is going to provide the opportunity for Kenyans to remove the two from office. It is also going to provide an opportunity to replace them through a very tidy, very constitutional method, what we are calling the Sovereign People's Convention.
Yeah.
So we have provided who is coming to the Sovereign People's Convention in the referendum bill, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2025. We've said all the sectors from all the 47 counties are coming to the Sovereign People's Convention. All our senators will be there. All our governors will be at the Sovereign People's Convention. National Assembly members will be there. All the leaders of majority from all the 47 counties will be at the Sovereign People's Convention. Young people will be represented. Women will be represented. Farmers, livestock keepers from across the country, students, trade unions, professional associations like LSK, ICPK, all of them. They have 27 seats in the Sovereign People's Convention. So about 530 people will be meeting at KICC or whichever place. They can even meet at the University of Nairobi Towers. 500 people are not many. And they will sit there. The Chief Justice will be there. The Registrar of the Judiciary will be gazetting the names. And they will conduct the election of the transitional president and transitional deputy president. So the people of Kenya are the ones who shall mandate the Sovereign People's Convention through the referendum. Through the referendum. So that it is actually the people of Kenya who are saying, yes, we want the removal of this destructive administration, and we want it replaced not through an election which is very untidy, but we want these individuals, solid Kenyans representing us from all the counties, to come and give us a transitional president. And that is how governors, senators, members of parliament, representatives of the county assemblies, young people, trade unions, private sector will come and sit down and elect the transitional president, a stable man or woman, with a deputy president, a stable woman or man, whose credentials are known in the Republic of Kenya, to help restore the country, restore healthcare, restore education, restore the economy, deal with the forensic audit of our public debt, and restore human rights to this country, so that for 2 years we can be able to prepare for a democratic election. If William Ruto wants to run in 2027, he is free to do so. Because Kenyans shall have regained their country back. We want to take back our country from being auctioned. Because right now, every single day in the newspapers, you are being told that X amount of billions have been stashed there. X amount of trillions, 1.3 trillion has been withdrawn from Treasury. 6.5 billion has been taken elsewhere. This amount of billions have been taken there, but people are dying in hospitals. But students are not learning. Capitation is not being sent to schools. Roads are not being built. Healthcare is failing, has actually collapsed. So Kenyans are saying, let us take our country back, repair it and stabilize it for 2 years. Then let those who want to run for office in 2027, you've spoken about Kalonzo and about Matiang'i and everybody else who want to run. Any number of people who want to run for office, let them come in 2027 when we've restored our country. So that we have a country. Otherwise, if we continue like this, we will have zero country to talk about. We will not have a country in 2027 to hand over to the next administration.
You talk about the transition, and I'm just captured when you say MPs, senators, governors should be involved. For those who might be thinking, why should they be involved? And you clearly said at the beginning, MPs have lost their mandate.
Yes.
Should they be involved when it comes to coming up with this transitional government?
So the beauty about our constitution is that we chose a presidential system of government. And there are countries like South Africa which are operated under what we call a parliamentary system of government. So in a parliamentary system of government, you have to end the life of parliament for you to remove the executive. Even under the previous constitution, you could not remove Moi without dissolving parliament first. Under our presidential system of government, MPs don't go anywhere. They can change the executive. The people of Kenya can change the executive without changing the legislature and without changing the judiciary. So those are going to remain. We are not dissolving county governments. So because these institutions do not belong to the executive, that's why they are meeting. The judiciary is there, parliament is there, the counties are there. So, and then the rest of the sectors of the people of Kenya, trade unions, professional associations, private sectors, are coming together to have a dialogue about where do we take our country. That's why they're coming to the Sovereign People's Convention. And they are being established through the referendum. Because the Constitution in Article 2 says that you cannot establish government unless as provided for in this Constitution. So when I hear honorable ladies and gentlemen saying that, you know, we are disturbing the government, no. The Constitution is very clear. And this is what we actually achieved in the Enjoyer ruling in 2004. We provided very clearly that the sovereignty belongs to the people and the Constitution is supreme. Previously, it used to be that the state is sovereign and the parliament is supreme. So supremacy of parliament was taken to the supremacy of the constitution. And the sovereignty of the state was taken to the sovereignty of the people. It is the people collectively who are sovereign. And so our constitution has not been understood. And do you know why it's not understood? It's because these same people who are in power opposed the constitution. They were saying no when we were saying yes. So they never took time to understand the philosophical foundations of the Kenyan constitution. So they are still operating and governing the country based on the constitution which Moi and Kibaki used.
Kenyans too do not understand the power they have. Is this a case too?
It is completely true. Why? Because it is the responsibility of the state to actually provide for civic education. If you go to the County Governments Act, Section 100, it establishes, when we were making the acts, we were very clear what we wanted to establish. We said clearly that every county government should establish a civic education fund and a civic education program.
Yeah.
But county governments, except Makueni, have refused to establish the civic education program and the civic education fund. Why? Because if they establish the civic education program and fund, the people of Kenya will know what their power, their rights and responsibilities are.
What is the difference now? If you listen to the president, talks about Moi, talks about Kibaki must go, yote yawezekana bila Moi. What is the difference now? Of course, you've talked about debt and health.
Yes.
But what doesn't the president see about the current situation of the country that shouldn't be compared with the previous regimes?
So I don't think that the president, even when he says that I am not mad, these things have been said before. Let me tell him the difference between Moi must go, Kibaki must go, and all the must goes before.
Yes.
There are three main differences. First of all, under Moi, because I was a student leader under Moi, and Moi took me to committee, those days, the constitution that was operational those days, in section 25 of that constitution, it used to say that everybody in Kenya serves at the pleasure of the president. So President Moi governed under a different constitution. Under this constitution, there is a radical shift in terms of where power is located. Number two, young people below the age of 35 under Moi and Kibaki used only to be 18% of the voters. Young people today are 63%
Of the voters.
of the voters. If President Ruto does not know that difference and is a scientist, then there's a problem. That there has been what we call a demographic revolution. Number three is that those young people during Moi, the people who are unemployed, were a paltry small number. Today, young people without jobs but have degrees. In fact, that's what I need to say. Only 2% of people under Moi were graduates from the university. 2%.
2%.
Yes, we only used to have 3 universities. Kibaki increased the universities from 3 to 72. Every county has a university today. There's Chuka University, Meru University, Kisii University, Migori has a university, Homa Bay has a university. The population of people who are graduates today in the population has grown from 2% to 19%. Others have gone to college because TVETs have been expanded, and these are unemployed, educated people. So, who have technology which was not there under Moi. So, young people these days don't have to do what I used to do when I was in university, which is physical operation. Young people can do an X space, and 145,000 of them are on the X space. That's a rally.
We saw that one.
We saw it last year.
Yes.
So if President Ruto is still operating the country as Moi used to operate it, no wonder he is unable to govern and lead. That's the simple thing I'll tell you. It is the population that has changed, it is the constitution that has changed, and the demographic economics have changed radically.
Does the president have any other option to help him stay in power? Your referendum is coming in June, July.
Correct.
July.
Yes.
Does the president have any other option other than leaving the office? Is there something he can do to help or salvage his situation now?
Of course he can. He can do many things. He can do many things. And we advised the churches. By the way, for the last 11 years, I have been advisor to the religious leaders. And last year, the religious leaders told him that there are 5 things he needs to do to regain, because President Ruto lost the social license to operate. His legitimacy to govern evaporated last year. The only people who have kept him in office is Raila and ODM. But you can see that Mbadi went to Treasury as an ODM expert, And during his term, 1.3 trillion shillings has been withdrawn from Treasury irregularly. Meaning that ODM's joining of the broad-based government is incapable of curing the economic, the political, the governance, the corruption, the unemployment. They are incapable of answering any of the 5 problems that we had last year in July, in June actually. So that is why President Ruto has to do the things that the religious leaders are recommended to him. Number 1, dissolve the cabinet and ask Kenyans. Don't do political deals with the Raila and then Kalonzo and then so and then Uhuru. And that is not how you are going to recover your lost legitimacy. Number 1, they told him, dissolve the cabinet and ask Kenyans to recommend who is competent. You've been seeing the people who are being made ministers, cabinet secretaries like these ones who are vetted, so-called vetted in parliament.
Yes.
They are completely out of their depth. You are asking somebody to do what they are incapable of doing. Yes. Secondly, the church told him, establish a judicial commission of inquiry to tell us who killed demonstrators who are exercising their power under the Constitution. He never established the Judicial Commission of Inquiry. They asked him to establish a Sovereign People's Convention to speak about healthcare, the economy, unemployment, security, and how to recover Kenya's diplomatic stature and the leadership in the... He has done none of the 5. So he dissolved cabinet and returned the very incompetent people. And then he went for more incompetent people from ODM. You've seen, we've just given the example of Mbadi here.
Yes.
So he simply cannot salvage himself. And that's why the people of Kenya have said, because you are unable to regain legitimacy to govern, then we are going to exercise the power directly as provided for in Article 1 of the Constitution.
How likely is the referendum to sail through and Ruto is removed? Of course, if the question is brought, politics kick in. Ruto,
That's right.
Raila, there's the Gachagua side, and this is what people are saying. And you listen to some experts actually believing that with Raila and Ruto, unless the wave of the Gen Z is big enough, Ruto can actually win in 2027 if we get there. How likely is the politics going to favor your side?
I don't want to reveal, secrets here on the screen, but suffice it to say that the bill is not being presented by Gen Z. We are using the word that Professor Kibwana gave us. It is called Muungano wa Gen Zote. Muungano wa Gen Zote Bill. It is not the youth, because we know that they are being targeted. You are going to see bishops, you are going to see imams, you are going to see professors, you are going to see lawyers, you are going to see accountants, engineers, professionals. This is not a Gen Z bill. This is the Muungano wa Gen Zote bill. Number 2, the bill is not just removing William Ruto and replacing him. It is also introducing 5 important constitutional amendments. 5 very important constitutional. Number 1 is increasing money to the counties from 15% to 30%. Number 2, these are the 5 important amendments alongside the removal and replacement of Ruto. So number 1 is money to the counties. And where have we gotten these amendments? From NADCO, the National Dialogue Committee, that was established last 2023 to respond to the issues of the people of Kenya. So in the NADCO bill, we've removed all the people's issues and left the politicians' issues in the NADCO.
Okay.
What are the politicians' issues? They wanted to extend the term to 7 years. They wanted to create funds for senators and I don't know where else.
Office of the...
And they wanted to increase offices of the opposition and whatever. Those ones we've left there. We've brought the 5 issues in NADCO dealing with the gender issue, dealing with the issue of money and strengthening of county governments. We've dealt with the cost of living. We've dealt with the issues of taxation. For example, in Article 209, we've amended to say that Kenyans cannot be subjected to double taxation. If you've paid payee, that's it. There is nobody who's going to vote no to this bill.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you the truth. When we publish this bill next week, there is hardly going to be any person in Kenya who is going to vote no, because it is their bill. It is the bill to stop Ruto's taxation menace. It is a bill to reduce the cost of living. We've said for the 2 years until 2027, no tax on food. We have to reduce the cost of living. We've said that we want during this period to deal with the issues of education and healthcare in the Constitution, under Article 43 of the Constitution. Who is going to vote against the bill?
So Raila, Ruto, politicians, conversation about politics will be heated up. Those are irrelevant.
Raila is going to be the leader of our campaign. You know Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga cannot be on the side where the people of Kenya are not. The moment we are going to take the bill to Raila, we are just finishing Easter so that we do. The moment Raila reads our bill, he is going to be the leader of the referendum. Raila cannot be on the side that is opposing
so what are you saying?
The people's
You're
interest.
basically saying Ruto will be isolated and his end is here.
I have said it previously that Ruto's biggest enemy is Raila. And people never understood what I was talking about. And Raila's biggest enemy is William Ruto. So when Raila is going to look at that bill and realize that the transitional process and the referendum is very clear and constitutional, no mandamano, no war, nothing, it is going to be a very peaceful process. Everybody in the political organization is supporting it currently. We've given the copies to all these political players, Martha Karua and the rest. Once they read the bill, and the right Honorable Raila Odinga reads our bill, he'll go to Ruto and tell him, this one you can't survive. Just prepare yourself for 2027, but it is very clear that the people of Kenya have made a decision that you can't lead them. The young people of this country said, you can't kill us and lead us. You can't kill us and lead us. Yes. So that is why they are going to the referendum. So it's going to be all generations, because the business community in this country is suffocating under the leadership of William Ruto. They want a reprieve. That's why they are coming to the Sovereign People's Convention. So who is not coming to the Sovereign People's Convention? Who is going to oppose the bill? Why are they opposing the bill? Because they want to keep William Ruto until 2027 so that they can continue to suffer? Who is going to oppose the bill? So it is under Article 1. That is why people who are not in the constitution making do not know why we inserted Article 1 sub Article 2. And they should now read it. The people of Kenya can exercise power directly or indirectly through their elected representatives.
Who is sponsoring this bill? Is it Gachagua? Is it Wanjigi? Who's sponsoring it?
The Gen Zote, Muungano wa Gen Zote bill.
Yeah.
This, you should talk to the young people of this country. You should talk to the religious leaders. You should talk to the LSK. You should talk to the unions, the doctors' union. You should talk to the nurses' union. You should talk to the lecturers' union, the teachers' union. Everybody on the pay slip who wants relief to the punishment of tax that they are suffering under William Ruto. Professors and the lecturers who know what has become of our education in the universities. Doctors, including my own sisters who are nurses, who are the sponsors of the bill. They are the Kenyans who want reprieve from politicians.
Okay.
It is myself and 14 others who took William Ruto and Gachagua to court last year in July 23rd to remove both Gachagua and Ruto. So this is not about William Ruto. It's about the leadership that has been there since 2022. So when people say who is sponsoring the bill, it is our brain and our constitution in Article 1 that is sponsoring the bill. The people of Kenya under Muungano wa Gen Zote, we are the sponsors of the bill. Because we are the sovereign. The sovereign cannot be sponsored by an employee. Politicians are our workers, they are employees. They can't sponsor the sovereign. That will be like the tail wagging the dog. So the politicians will vote and they will comment on the bill that has been generated by the people's dialogue and the collective action. So that is the work that we are doing.
Have you talked or are you in talks with other leaders, Matiang'i, those who want to vie for presidency, Fred Matiang'i, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi, Gachagua? Have you talked to them and what is their thinking about this?
No, we've spoken to their legal representatives. And the legal representatives have briefed them. Yes. We don't have any business talking to
You don't
this.
actually need them.
We don't need them. You see, we don't need these people. That is the thing that this bill wants to assert, that this country belongs to the people of Kenya. The abnormality that has been there for the last 62 years is where the tail wags the dog. Where Raila and Ruto sit down and they say, this is the direction the country is going to go to. And we are asking them, 93% of Kenyans have said no. So where are you getting the mandate to establish a broad-based government? Which constitution has provided for a broad-based government? There is none. These things that Ruto and Raila are doing are actually illegal and unconstitutional. I have told you that when we finally help Raila with a copy through Sifuna, his Secretary General, we are going to give him a copy and say, as a political party, please inform your party leader about the People's Muungano wa Gen Zote Bill. Raila is going to comment about it. And we are going to tell him, it is you and Ruto who established NADCO. It was co-chaired by Kalonzo and who else? Ichung'wa.
Yeah.
So we've brought you a bill, we've removed the offices you were creating and the funds you were creating and the terms you were extending. We've brought everything else and it is now in the Muungano wa Gen Zote Bill. It is as clear as that.
And people will be with the bill because people
are the sponsors, are the owners of the bill.
Are the owners of the bill.
Exactly.
Talk to me about what is happening in the country now currently with political tolerance.
Yes.
Gachagua says that they are going to assassinate him. They want to kill him. And, you know, we are coming up with this tribal cocoon. What is your thinking about what the political class is doing?
These people are, they look good from far, but they are very far from good. They sound like they have the interests of the people of Kenya at heart. And let me tell you one thing that is going to happen in 2027. After we have put in place the transitional government and we've cleaned we've sorted out all the issues we've had since 2013 with our electoral process, and we have established an IBC which is properly governed, and we've reformed the security sectors and so on and so forth. In 2027, Kenyans are not going to vote on a tribal basis. So what I will advise the current people in the security agencies is that William Ruto will not be there to help them. Let them do their job as prescribed by the Constitution of Kenya. That's the only safety and insurance they have for their future. And I'll tell the spouses of these people, like I saw the Inspector General of Police, you know, on top of an SUV,
yes,
you know, addressing a political rally in his local dialect. And I sympathize with him because the day we are going to take him to court, he will pay for those sins on his own, because he swore, he signed and he swore that he's going to serve the people of Kenya as the Inspector General on his own. The oath of office is very clear. If he violates the oath of office so that he can please William Ruto, he's going to pay individually. William Ruto will not be in court on the day that he's going, and LSK is working on it already. So let everybody in this country know that if the people of Kenya can remove William Ruto and Kindiki from office, who are you out there trying to misuse power and abuse office? You are going to be dragged to court. And it is your children and your wife who will be suffering your incarceration at committee maximum prison. By the way, nobody dies when they go to committee. We've been there, I've been there. We came out and we are alive, as you can see. So we will take them there so that they actually know that you pay for your indecisions and your sins individually. So stop being a lapdog for William Ruto. William Ruto cannot secure you. He will survive on his own, and he will not be there to help you. So stop doing what William Ruto tells you to do. Do what the Constitution and the law says you do. Anything outside that, you will pay for it individually.
Final message to Kenyans watching this conversation and those that would want to know more about the Muungano Gen Zote Bill. Final message to them in relation to what they should expect in the next coming couple of months and in the transitional government that is to come.
Thank you very much. So what we are saying very clearly as the Muungano Gen Zote working group is that let Kenyans start to establish the 47 referendum committees. Number two, let them start to do civic education based on the bill. Form your committees in the counties. We will send the bill. We will print a lot of copies. You will start the civic education. Number three will be signature collection. Number four, talk to your MCAs so that when we bring the bill, all the 47 county assemblies support it. Because we do not understand. Of course, William Ruto and his people are going to supply them with a lot of money to vote against the bill.
Do you have that money?
Why do we need money? With technology, why do we need money? We can actually launch this bill on the website. We can launch it on X-Space. We don't need money. Actually, we don't need money. And that is what bothers William Ruto, that we are doing something that does not need money. You know? We don't have money and we don't need it. With technology, on your platform alone, we speak to 1 million people. On technology, we can speak to 7 million people. Kenyans in the diaspora are watching. And our meetings are being sponsored by Kenyans, individuals. They are saying, come to Kitengela, come to Bungoma, and we will host you. They just pay 5,000 shillings for the hall and they buy water. And that is how we are running the referendum. That is why it's very problematic, because William Ruto cannot tear gas the referendum. He can't tear gas the referendum. So what is he going to do? He will just have to respect the sovereignty of the people. What we are saying is very easy, and let Kenyans do those 5 very simple things.
You're saying Ruto should start packing?
No, he should actually clean the mess, because he should not wait until he's out of office to start cleaning the mess. He should start to reorder the accounts and things like that, because the referendum is by the people of Kenya. We don't need money to do it. All these stories that are normally given by the Honorable Raila, the Honorable Raila should know that he needs to retire at the top with his dignity intact. And he should therefore be the leader of this referendum to implement NADCO, because NADCO is his bill. We are just implementing his bill called NADCO, except that we are not establishing the funds and extending the terms. No. We are saying, let us end this destructive leadership of William Ruto, because Kenyans are dying, they are unemployed, they are poor. So let's end it. And that is the call and guidance that we would like to give to, because William Ruto is a Kenyan. Yes, he's a Kenyan. He's going to stay here. His children are going to stay here. We want everybody to stay in Kenya. But it is his leadership and policies that have failed. And so what do we do now? If you are incapable of leading and you are incapable of being a steward, because the presidency is a stewardship role. And if you are unable to steward the country, you just resign, and we are helping him through the referendum so that we create a new government. We don't want him to leave a gap, which will bring instability. Let the people of Kenya go to the referendum, establish the Sovereign People's Convention, put in a transitional government, and if he wants, he can even come back in 2027 and run, if he wants.
Are you ready for a referendum? Because Cyprian tells me it's going to come and you actually have the power in your hand. That's Cyprian Orina Nyamwamu from Kenya Bora is the sixth spokesperson. Leave a comment down below.
And the next governor of Nairobi, by the way.
Tuongeleo kidogo.
No. It's very important for Kenyans to know that we are not just commenting from the sidelines. We've prepared a team of fresh, ethical, committed Kenyans to take over the 47 county governments. We have a plan about who is qualified to govern the country as president in 2027. And my team has requested me to run, and I've accepted the responsibility of being the next governor of the city of Nairobi. It is extremely important that Kenyans know that we are not just commentators from the sidelines.
Yes.
We are at the center of the transformation, because Raila Odinga was the leader with his friends like Willie Mutunga and Kibwana of the second liberation. We are the leaders of the third liberation of Kenya. And that's why I'm going to serve as the governor of Nairobi in 2027.
Hopefully we'll have a conversation about Nairobi in the near future.
We better have it.
Thanks for tuning into this conversation. Leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for making time for us. It's been a pleasure, and we hope things will work out for Kenyans.
No, God is the one who provides the grace for us to do everything. We are not doing this by our own power, but by the grace of God. We will be able to lead and steward the country to the next level.
Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.